my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like and comment.
Wow. So this, I don't know, but I feel like I don't know whether it's only me, but I feel like married to medicine, they are being so hypocritical about the way they think and the way they do things. One moment, everybody's making a rule that suits and helps them, and the next moment, when it gets to another person, they totally forget that rule and go hard on that person. That is what I did think about today's episode. Sorry, previous episode of My to Medicine. Before we go ahead and talk about the episode, welcome guys once again to our channel. If you're not subscribed, make sure you click on the subscription button down below to subscribe, and make sure you like and comment on our videos your thoughts and opinion on what we say on our channel. Now, back to the
Uh-oh, what happened?
sorry,
It's
my network kind of cut off.
okay.
I'm really sorry, guys. So, like I was saying before, I was, cut off. So, let's go ahead and talk about today's episode on maritime medicine. Firstly, we know that today's episode just mainly dwelled on the trip and them preparing for the trip and them going for this so-called trip. We had everybody coming to Dr. Jackie's, sorry, not I said Dr. Jackie. Everybody going to Dr. Simone's house. From there, they were all gonna go for the trip. Everybody was present except Dr. Jackie and sorry, yes, Dr. Jackie and Heavenly. And Heavenly was called, and Heavenly was saying that the reason why she's not there is because her friend Dr. Jackie found it very troublesome to come to the trip because of the history they have there. I, for one, felt somehow. But before we talk about it, let's go ahead and talk. Let's firstly talk about the stuff where during the when they were in the house at the first place, Dr. Simone kept on making comments about Dr. Alicia and her husband Kim and their kind of style of marriage. I found it very offensive that Dr. Simone has decided to have a say on somebody else's marriage, on somebody else's situationship. It didn't make sense to me that she was like, "Oh, should I serve you a plate? In your culture, you like to be served. What's your problem?" And I've never seen Dr. Alicia come to you and complain that my marriage is so hectic for me. I don't think I can handle it. So what's all those one-liners comments that she was making on the marriages and on their marriage and their life? And I found it like, why are you laughing, Doctor? What's his name, Dr. Kim or whatever? Why are you laughing? It was not funny. And they were like, "Oh, do you like how I'm treating you?" And he was like, "Yeah, I like um and he said something about my wife is already trained to that extent. I'm like, that left a very bad taste in my mouth. Very, very bad taste.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, these ladies, like, you know, they say they want to get to know you, but any little thing that you tell them about you or your relationship, you know, they take it and they pick it apart. You know what I'm saying? It's a way for them to antagonize you, and like, why is she all up in their marriage like that? I understand that from Dr. You know what I'm saying? If this is a treat, why make fun of a couple who's the youngest couple, added on to the show? Why are you trying to pick, and poke fun of their marriage? Whatever their marriage is working for them. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, I just thought that was in poor taste, and then yeah, his little comment, Dr. Kim, his little comment, about a woman being trained. You train a dog, you train uh, a seal, you train a whale. You don't train a woman, you know. So yeah, I didn't like his comment, but I'm just feeling like he's just saying stuff. Maybe he actually believes it, but I feel like he's just saying a lot of stuff just to have something to say.
Exactly. And when he was saying that, Dr. Alicia staying there just listening. Well, I believe that they understand the car because she's not complaining. I think they understand the kind of marriage or relationship they have.
It,
And
it works for
yeah, it works. Yeah, exactly.
him, you know.
They understand the kind of marriage they have and it works for them.
Yeah, everybody's marriage isn't the same.
Mm-hmm.
By them having young
It works.
kids and newly married, you know what I'm saying? It's like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
for you guys to be the OGs, you guys are just like throwing bricks at glass, throwing bricks at mirrors. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be,
Yeah.
nobody wants a broken marriage that you trying to piece back together. Nobody wants that. Give their marriage a chance.
Going forward, like I said, before the trip, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Before the trip, they found out that Heavenly decided not to show because Dr. Jackie did not want to show because of her husband and the past experience they had where they were going to. Now, and like I said earlier on, I found it very hypocritical that Dr. Heavenly decided not to go. It's not your marriage, it's not your issue. Why did you just decide on your own you're not going to go? And you never told them since it was a last minute, they even had to call you before you let them know that you decided not to show. And you call yourself, I am friends, we are friends. Friends don't do that to themselves. If I would be a no show to a trip that was planned, I would tell you the night before, a day before.
Right.
The moment I made my decision that I will be a no show, I would have told you so that you would have you already understood. You would have understood what was going on. But you did not tell them. You did not let them know. Then the day when they were all preparing to leave on the trip, they put a call. They were the one that put the call to you. You did not even feel like you needed to put a call to them. They put the call to you and you said, "Oh, I'm not going because Dr. Jackie is not going." Really, now you want to be a very good friend.
Yeah, Heavenly, she's always inserting herself where she shouldn't be. She's always opening her mouth when she shouldn't. I believe, and this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that she is clinging to Jackie so tightly because Jackie is the only one who really puts up with her shit and don't really call her out like everybody else calls her out. Everybody else calls her out, and they're yelling and they're screaming. Jackie takes the softer approach with Heavenly, if you notice. So I I would hate to see Jackie and Heavenly out on the outs because I would like to know who is Heavenly going to draw close to then. You know what I'm saying? Because she's not really close to Toya. She's not definitely not close to uh Dr.
Dr. Simone. Dr. Simone.
She's not really close. Yes, she's not really close to anyone except for Dr. Jackie. So yeah, she is up the crack of Dr. Jackie's butt right now because that is like her only friend. And her and Jackie
And
haven't fell out yet.
yeah, and just as we were saying, the continuation, like now they are going on a trip after finding out they're not going, then the boss going on a trip, every other person. I don't understand what Phaedra was doing in this trip. This is a couples trip. It's
Yeah,
called couples. It's meant to be for people that are married,
yeah. It kind of
right?
reminds me.
So
It kind
what
of
was
reminds me.
Phaedra doing there?
Well, it kind of reminds me of the trip they took when Quad was the only one who was there, and her and Dr. G was no longer married. They always got one single person tagging along. You know, so I didn't get why she was there either. She didn't have any significance up on the trip besides trying to stir the pot.
And making facial expressions. Those facial expressions I don't need. I lit I watch Phaedra on the Traitors and I prefer her so much better
Mm,
because that's the Phaedra I know.
mm-hmm.
You're used to somebody. It's like we've known Nini for a long time with her attitude, her character, has her jokes, her insult. Then she comes and start acting different. You will be asking, is this really Nini? So that's the thing. We've known Phaedra for a particular character and the way she behaves for a very long time from the housewives. Then she comes here, turns into another character. God forbid the day that Phaedra becomes a walking facial expression on the housewives. God forbid that Phaedra becomes a walking expression. It's never happened. It has never, ever happened.
Yeah.
So I didn't
Hopefully.
understand why she was there. Because if I weigh her presence through the whole trip, although we've not seen the whole trip, but for the ones who were able to see now, absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. There was nothing. She brought no value, no what, nothing. And they still stayed here, still picking and nipping on Alicia and her husband's relationship. Fix your own relationship. Toya doesn't really regard her husband as anything. Dr. Simone, very loud, your husband's laughing like the man. Then you're facing somebody else in a marriage. She hasn't complained to you that yes, I'm having difficulty. You every moment. That was what was even upsetting me in this episode. Every moment they saw, they would be like, they will nip and touch on their marriage. And even the Alicia and her husband are not even helping matters at all. It's always painful to me to remember that they are Nigerians and I'm a Nigerian and I'm watching them. And I'm like, And anytime he goes ahead and says, in my culture, we do this, I just shrink.
Hmm.
What culture do you do that? Not maybe in your own culture. Maybe that's how, because every at the end of the day, there are cultures and there's the way that you are trained.
Mm.
That's a different thing. Because I know in my side we have cultures, and I still have some trainings, and I still have some of the cultures that I don't accept, I don't go with, and some that I embrace. So him always coming every time and say, "Oh, it's our culture." I was like, please don't let any other person hear you, because some of the things you'll be saying, what culture?
Wow.
And when they talked about, when they asked, I didn't understand the relevance of the question when she was thrown to ask and was asked, what is that? What are the three things you do before you put Dr. Kem to bed? Why are you asking that? And it's the way they always answer with a smiley face. Like, have some self-respect. I know you guys are new couples and you're trying to please, and you're trying to probably put a stamp on yourself to be in season two. Sorry, I said season two. Yeah, season two for them, but um maybe the next season if it gets renewed. But at least have a little bit of self-respect. Why would somebody ask you what you do to get your husband to bed every night? What business of yours it is? Is it I mean what I do to get my husband to bed?
Yeah, that was a ridiculous question. That's being a little bit too nosy, about what I do
Nosy.
in my bedroom privately with my husband. So yeah, these chicks, I swear, I don't know what's going on with the show, but this little bus ride
Man.
was pretty crazy.
Yeah, the things they were saying. I was like, jeez.
I thought they would
It
have been
looked like,
playing like I thought they would have been playing like marital games or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was the
oh,
purpose of this trip, right?
wow. I was shocked. I was shocked. Well, at the end of the day, hopefully, thankfully, they made it into the vacation home. And surprisingly, I was shocked that we finally saw Dr. Jackie and her husband and Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon finally show their faces. Because I expected it, as they said, we're not coming. Let it be, you are not coming. Do you think it's the producers that told them to come? Or do you
I,
think they came there of their own free will?
no, I think the producers probably told them to go ahead and come because everything was already set up. You know,
Okay.
because it didn't seem like Jackie was really happy to be there. You know, and it didn't seem like her husband was really thrilled to be there as well. Like, oh yeah, okay, we're here.
Like, well, I felt like as if they were forced to be there. I felt like it was a forced thing. It's not like they really, really, really wanted to be there. It didn't look as if they were happy. But I also did not understand why Dr. Heavenly was forcing and pushing everything on Dr. Simone. Now, in my own point of view,
Your voice is gone. I can't hear anything.
you can't hear me.
Yes, now I can.
I was saying, in my own point of view, when it came to Dr. Simone fixing this vacation in the same spot, I'm gonna be honest. I've had friends, they've had boyfriends,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
And some of them have cheated, maybe being caught cheating on somewhere in a particular place in an area. But I can't right now. I don't think I can remember any of the places probably we knew or we found out that this person was cheating on this person in this particular area, in this particular city, in this particular country. I don't think we can remember all those things. And
Right.
there's every possibility that I myself can tell my friends, let's go to a vacation to a place that probably she has caught her boyfriend in that place, because I'm not going to be keeping records of, oh, yes, okay, one of my friends' boyfriend cheated on her boyfriend cheated on her in this area, or my friend's husband cheated on her in this area, and then put it on my head. You have so many things going on in your life, your personal life. So why should I be gatekeeping where your friends' spouses cheated on them in my head and avoiding there? And why should it be upon me to avoid a particular area just because your spouse decided to cheat? Then I decide to avoid that area, even if I want to go there. But because my friend's spouse cheated on her on that place, I will not go. Why would I deprive myself of that happiness? Why? And why would I even be gatekeeping where and how the environment where my friend's spouse cheated? And I felt like it was an honest mistake. I don't think she has ever thought about that again after the incident happened. She did not think about it, and that was why she made the trip. And I also did not understand why Jackie was taking it personal. If you, like you said, you guys have moved on from it, why did it become so much as a trigger? And if you felt like it was a trigger to you, there is no amount of production, there is no amount of directory, there's no amount of anything that would have made me gone to that venue. That's just it. But you decided to go, you decided to show your face, you decided to be there. Hi, Miss Mermaid. You decided to go, you decided to be there. So that means it's not really a trigger. I think the main issue with Jackie was that she was avoiding people to talk about it. She was avoiding for it to be a topic or a discussion.
I agree because simply because, when they were at Simone's house and they were talking to Jackie, Jackie was crying profusely, like you couldn't really talk to her or really understand her, because of the sobbing. So, yeah, if that would have been me, there's no way that if I felt that strongly, I'm not going to show up. If what going to be the topic, I don't want to go. Not unless I'm in the mood to face everything. You know what I'm saying? Once again, you know what I'm saying? So, and then what I'm kind of tripping off of is like these trips have to be approved through production. Am I correct? So,
Mhm. Yeah.
production, they knew, you know what I'm saying? They knew what could possibly happen, you know. So, I don't know if Simone knew, but you're right. It wasn't her responsibility to, make a list of all the places these guys have been and with who, you know. And yeah, I just feel that it was crazy, the whole little trip, the whole little idea, it just,
And the
it kind
way
of makes
that
me
Dr.
feel,
Heaven was
yeah,
biting on.
it kind of makes me feel like the production is giving everybody a storyline at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I don't understand why Dr. Heavenly was fighting Dr. Jackie's fight. And did you see how Dr. Jackie just stood like, yeah, like she wanted to do this, but Dr. Heavenly was doing it for her. It's not like she felt offended that Dr. Heavenly was being loud. She was happy that Dr. Heavenly was doing that.
Right. They just went there and just totally embarrassed themselves. I mean, when the neighbors can hear you and they're all outside looking at you, like that's a total embarrassment. It wasn't no need for all that. But they always have shouting matches wherever they go. And I thought that situation, that arguing, I thought that was solved at the birthday party that Phaedra gave for her son. I mean, you guys interrupted that,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just like every time you see each other, you're gonna, be fussing and screaming about, oh, you shouldn't have did that. Well, you shouldn't have did that. But I'm a better friend than you are, and I would have known. And you know what I'm saying? Like at this point, like who gives a damn? You know?
Miss Bame said production was being messy, but I still don't know why. I still don't know why Simone didn't have them change it like Dr. Heavenly said. Because Heavenly said they had the money and power to overrule the choices of the production.
See?
So probably who knows? Probably they are not really they are strapped for cash. Who knows, Most of these reality TV stars they like to live beyond their means.
Mm,
They love to live beyond what they make, beyond the amount they have coming in, beyond their assets. So probably they didn't have the money. I'm not trying to side with them, but I feel like, yes, like you said, production was being messy because they knew that location was a bad location and they knew that Jackie would not love it, but they still went ahead with it. And Dr. Simone could have easily changed up the location after finding out. But also, we should also look at it like this, Miss Mame. There's a certain level of planning you could have done, you could have gotten to that can be hard. That changing of location would have been times two of what you budgeted.
right.
So let's look at it like probably Dr. Simone reasoned it that they've already done a lot of planning to this. So changing of the location might take triple of what they already planned for this trip to take. So they just looked at it like, you know what, we don't have this money to throw around. Let's just go and live with it.
Right.
And like I said earlier, it's not in Simone's power. It's neither in I'm not only Simone, any other person on this cast to gatekeep where their spouse is. If this person's spouse is cheated, okay, let me mark this on my calendar. Let me mark this in my life book. Oh, never go to LA. This person's husband cheated on her in LA. I'm not supposed to be gatekeeping that for you.
Right. Even though, it was uh, a place of not pleasant memories and they ended up there, they didn't have to uh, go in with the energy that they came in. Speaking of Dr. Jackie, her husband, Heavenly, and her husband, but mostly Heavenly, Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie, and Dr. Jackie's husband. You know what I'm saying? Because you you guys already talked about it. You could have just, and everybody knew what was going on at that point. You could have just went in and just, okay, hey, we're here as, guest participants and as a couple. Let the fun begin. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But they came
Yeah,
here
they
just,
came in
you
with
know,
gun blazing,
yeah,
bazooka held, AK-47
yeah,
to shoot at anybody that makes mistakes for the say the wrong words.
yeah,
They already went in with the wrong energy.
but they set the tone. You know what I'm saying? They set the tone instead of just
They did.
coming in like, hey, we're here. Sorry we're late. What did we miss? Well, we're ready to have fun, and let's enjoy
Ex-
this trip.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But they came
Yeah.
in
They,
like the
they
mafia.
they
They came in
came
like
with one energy like, mm-mm.
they came in like the
I think they
mafia.
came in with nobody dare says anything about that incident. Nobody dared judge us about that incident. Nobody dare try to make anybody take accountability about that incident. That is on it. Dot period ended. We don't want to listen to anybody.
Yeah, or they came in like the mafia. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll kill anybody dead. If you cross this line, these are the lines. We're setting up the perimeter. This is what we won't discuss. This is what we're not going to react to. Like, I just feel like all that was just totally unnecessary. If y'all solid, you solid. You ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. Come and have fun. That was the point of you even showing up, right? Not to set
Yeah.
boundaries, but to have a couple trip. So I just say they
Mhm.
they they just came in, you know, like a little gang.
Yeah. And the fact that also because they came with this, nobody talk about us, nobody say shit about us. Like Miss Mame said, right? It's funny. Miss Mame said, right, it's funny they didn't want to be the topic, but ended up being the topic. Exactly. And
Yes.
it's because of the energy they brought in. Then now we see Sweetie looking like you were saying we should not talk about you. You don't want to take accountability, but Sweetie said the truth. Now, I'm not saying what Sweetie said or did was right, but what she said was true.
I agree.
If we move back to Quad, when they were justifying whatever they said to Quad, everybody was like, "Yeah, you need to take accountability. Yeah, you need to do. You are this, you are that. You need to speak. You need to, you know." They were saying the same thing, but now we got to you, Dr. Jackie. You don't want anybody to speak on it. So which one is it? Should we be taking accountability or should we be shutting up in the group? You blamed Quad for the same thing. You said Quad always shuts down things when she doesn't like it to be talked, and when she doesn't want to be, she don't want to talk about those things. She shuts it down, or she goes into moods that you don't like. She's not a good friend, right? But
Right.
now, when it came to you, you are shutting your own down. So why did you stand and accuse Quad of the same thing you did? And Dr. G was truthful for the first time. He said everything is always laughter until it becomes to you. Which is true. I said it from the first time when they removed Quad from this group. I said all the things they abused or blamed Quad for, everybody in the group does it.
Yeah.
Everybody is guilty of that same crime. For every little thing they said Quad did, and that was what they made her, or that's what they decided that they wanted to get her off the show. Every single one of them is guilty of it. Every one of them are guilty of the same thing. And Dr. Jackie just proved my point.
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Jackie just proved my points.
Yeah. There's definitely double standards in this friendship. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can throw shit and shade at me, but when I I want to talk about your shit, because evidently
It
you're
becomes
you're
off
you're
limits.
well, you're making it a thing. So if I have questions, I'm not allowed to ask my questions. But you're on center stage. You know what I'm saying? You're making me part of your audience. You know, so it's double standards in that friendship.
Like if you're basing this thing of the reason why you move quad is friendship, you should be able to talk out things, you should be able to discuss things, you should be able to, Why did it when it gets your turn? You did this thing to Sweetie. You pushed Quad to her front. Unfortunately, Quad did not take the bait and she decided that she's not going to be awful. She was not going to be awful to Sweetie. But you have been making, and it's true, they've been trying in I'm not gonna say it's bullying, but Heavenly, Dr. Simone, and Dr. Jackie has been trying to make Sweetie look like, yeah, you're just a small girl, stay on your lane. They've been doing it consistently, I'll be how they say it. They have been doing it like it's been a regular thing for them. And now that there is just so much someone can take. You push the person. One day, the person will be tired of taking that you're pushing, and the person will retaliate. And this is what happened because, in my mind, I was imagining what Sweetie was going through. Like, I'm sitting down there and I'm like, when it came to Quad, everybody was giving opinions. Everybody was telling her to take accountability. Everybody was saying, like, how she's a bad person for not wanting people to talk about it, you know. But it got to your turn, you're trying to shut it. You're trying to say that nobody's talk about you. This is, like her husband said, like Curtis said, this is not a place for us to badmouth each other. So there is a place to badmouth each other, and there's a place not to badmouth each other. Is that what they're telling me? There is an avenue, there's an event that badmouthing is allowed. Talking about each other's is allowed. But there's a place where the badmouthing is not allowed. Please let them take a big sleep. Literally. Let them take a big sleep. Because I believe that at that moment, I believe that what was going through Sweetie head was that she was recalling everything and was like, am I the crazy one? Didn't I just watch things happen in the same cast? Didn't I just watch things play out in the same cast? Am I okay? And at that moment, she just, like, no, no, you guys are not gonna do like that. She had to tell them, yes, yes, quite all right. I didn't like what she said to Dr. Jackie, like calling her the B word and ending it with the F word. Starting with the F word and ending it with the B word. I didn't like that, but I understood. She was pissed off. You've done this thing to me. You've done this thing to your so-called friend Quad. You've done it several times, but it's to you now. You found problems with it. You are shutting it down. And you justified everything you did at that time. You justified it when she justified it when Sweetie complained about it. You justified it when it came to Quad. When it got to your turn, no go area. And the thing I found more upsetting is the way she was like, baby girl, like trying to talk to her like a child. Like that part where she was like, I get hit when I go to the operating room. I get hit when I get a mother that has cancer. I get hit. I felt like that she was trying to like demean her, like, you know what? I have things going on for me. I have this for myself. I've accomplished this for myself. What have you done? That was how I felt it was. And I think that was the things that, added up because she was trying to make her feel like you're just a small girl. You have not accomplished what I've accomplished. You have not been where I've been. You cannot be where I have been.
I
That was
felt
what I
that.
felt Dr. Jackie was doing.
Yeah, I felt that. Jackie's whole little conversation was basically pre-rehearsed. You know what I'm saying? I think she
Mm-hmm.
practiced that in her head, what she was going to say if this happened. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a long winded speech there, you know, of all of her daily rhetoric and her accomplishments. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And, you can't sit back and talk to a grown woman who got a whole husband and a whole marriage, regardless if it's new or not. You can't talk to no grown woman like she's beneath you. You know what I'm saying? Or you're trying to make her look not as educated as you. not as sophisticated as you. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like that attitude that I'm above you and you're down here type of shit that Dr.
Yeah.
Jack doing with Sweet Tea. And yeah, I would have got upset because look, how many times you gonna bring Quad in my face? How many times are you gonna all y'all got Quad's name on your lips when you around me, you know? And then I'm finding out that my husband possibly had dated Phaedra, and here's Phaedra. Like, enough is a fucking enough. I would have cracked too, you know. I probably would, you know. Probably had some words too that I could have said, you know, but she was just, Sweet Tea was just so fucking frustrated. All she could come out with was "fuck you" and whatever else she said. She was frustrated,
Yes.
and yeah, I can understand that because they have been picking and picking and picking at this woman. You know, she's trying to get to know them. You know, she's
Mm-hmm.
trying to settle into her marriage, and into her new role as a wife. She's dealing with her health issues. She's trying to be on the show with you guys, and you know, she's just a fucking trash can for them. They just drop all their shit right there. You know,
This comment from JP said, when Jackie said I deliver babies that I can't have, I was shocked. Like, does she resent her patients? Exactly. Everything she was saying, I was like, my mouth was just wide open. Like, they didn't ask you to do all those things. You wanted to become a doctor. What does a doctor do at the first place? You are there to listen to when someone comes and has cancer and you have to tell the person. You are there to do all those things you're saying. Just like the job that Sweetie has. What it takes for those jobs to be done, she will do them. So don't come and tell me every day I stay and I listen to people say that. That's your job.
I know.
That's your job.
Yeah, I guess if she was an optometrist, she'd be upset for the people who who could see, you know, and uh, yeah, she'd be upset because they have 20/20 and she's optometrist wearing glasses, thick ones, bifocals. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, you know. But yeah,
It's
I was happy Sweet Tea stood her ground and let them know that hey, this is a double standard.
mm-hmm.
Whether Jackie
No, I was happy for that
liked
part,
it,
yeah.
yeah, whether she liked it because it was a taste of her own medicine. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, she didn't like it. She doesn't like anybody to stand up to her,
No,
because
I'm really glad that she saw it. She saw it and she realized that, man, these ladies are really vipers, real vipers. You don't trust them. If she came in here trusting them and wanting to go against Quad, she learnt the lesson the hard way. She learnt her lesson, and I believe next time she's not gonna make that mistake again. And if do you do, and there's one thing like that that pissed me off more. Yet that all this thing was happening, and Dr. G sat down there. And I don't know who made that comment when he was like, he said something, and somebody said Quad was more worse than this. I don't know whether it was Dr. Heavenly.
I think that was Toya, wasn't it?
Quad was worse than this. I'm like, why must you always interject or put Quad's name? Quad is not Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea is not Quad. They are two different human beings, two different personalities that dealt with Dr. G. Why do you have to bring in Quad and Dr. G and Sweetie in the same sentence? Just because she's acting out and calling out your bullshit, now she's acting like Quad. So people calling out your bullshit is bad, but you want to call out people's else's bullshit. Wow, what a double standard.
Yeah, most definitely.
Miss Mama said yes, they used her as a pawn in a way. Yeah, I've always said it that Sweetie has been used as a pawn throughout the season. And
Yeah.
seriously, as I was saying, one person that pissed me off most was Dr. G sitting down there. Then when they went to the room, his wife was literally pissed off. You could see that she was like, that she was really angered by everything that happened, right? You will know that
Hmm.
she was really angered.
Right.
But it didn't look as if he was like putting her feelings in place. I thought that he was consoling her because she was like, I cannot take this anymore. And the next thing this guy did was in the morning when she was literally feeling sad, he told her to go and apologize and there's nothing to it. And he still crammed it up with, I will always be by your side. I will always support you. How? How are you always on my side? How do you support me when you're telling me to go and apologize to somebody that you know that I felt disrespected? And the fact that Dr. G has always known about the fact that this lady disrespects Sweetie. And that is why I say this relationship between Sweetie and Dr. G, I don't fancy it. I don't think she's gonna get a very long run. I don't think she's gonna enjoy it for that long. I'm not trying to be a bearer of bad news, nobody to feel like that. I'm not trying to be a bearer of bad news for her. But the way he spoke to her here, it felt like as if he valued her still being friends with people that he knew that they were using her like a pawn. He knew that they were trying to demean her. Who he knew that were shaming her, he valued her still being friends with them than for his wife's mental state. That was how it felt to me. And if you can value those people over my own mental state, then I'm gonna be looking at you one way.
Well, he treated Quad basically the same way. He hasn't changed. He is going to be who he is. He hasn't changed. You know, he's controlling. He makes the most money. You heard what he said about the wedding. I'll give you the money and you're supposed to handle it. So why are you telling me about all these problems? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's not as supportive as he shows he is. Because he's going to control her narrative as long as she's under his roof.
I felt as in I when I saw Sweetie the way she was praising Dr. G, I said, the Dr. G I know. Those kind of characters don't change that easily. They don't change that easily. And I saw that in this episode. The way he was like, he even held her. It felt like gaslighting 101.
Mm-hmm.
That was what he was doing to her. It's like he held her, I love you. I'll always be there for you, but you just know we just have to just apologize. Like I value my friendship with these guys. You're not gonna mess it up for me. So go and apologize. And I cannot stay and watch you insult somebody that was older than you. Like you're letting her know that yeah, you are younger than every one of us. So you need to literally show respect, even when they don't deserve the respect.
Right.
She's like Miss Mohammed said, she's on for a very, very good awakening. Because if he still values that relationship, if he still values that friendship, I'm like, apologize even after it. And I don't know whether you saw anything like, they've shot the reunion, right?
No, I don't.
Oh yeah, they've actually done shot the reunion.
Oh, wow.
Now, Dr. Heavenly was coming after. I was like, some people could not handle the pressure. They had to have a psychologist there for them. They had to have this protection there for them. Everybody is speculating allegedly that it is Sweetie.
Mm.
And now for her, for it, if and I'm thinking, if just for the first reunion that she is in, and they had to have psychologists down for her, therapists down for her. Man, I wonder how hard they went. And I'm not sure she understood. I'm not sure Dr. G explained to her the reality of reality TV shows or the reality of reality TV and how these women can be brutal. Even the one that smiles with you and call you their friend can be very brutal.
Well, that's sad to hear. You know what I'm saying? But sweetie, don't be letting these bitches drive you into insanity. You know what I'm saying? Because the one thing they're jealous of is your youth. You know what I'm saying? I think they're jealous of her, you know, and because I don't know how big of a following Sweet Tea has now since she's been on the show, you know, but I just think that they're just a little bit jealous of her, you know, and they're going to do everything they can to tear her apart, you know, because they're hateful. They're mean. They are. They are. They're really mean.
Mm, man, I really, 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 right? I feel bad for her. I felt like when I heard that Dr. G will be in the show with his new wife, I felt that it was a bad call. I felt from the first episode, it was the bad call. Miss Mama said, that's been my number one question all along. He did nothing to prepare her, and I wouldn't say jealous. They are just typical dogs. They don't respect her. Exactly. We can see they don't have respect for her because they feel like, oh, we're doctors, we've accomplished things. What have you done? What have you accomplished? You know? And Dr. G, for my own, wants to just stay in this crew. He wants to still have this friendship going on. So he doesn't care if his wife's mental state is in shambles or goes in shambles. I hope she doesn't lose the thing that makes her happy just because she has to be around these women. I just hope.
Hmm.
And then she decided to apologize. Yeah, I felt bad. Oh my God. Do you know how I felt when she said, and I apologize to you, Jackie? When she said that statement, ah, I felt so bad. Miss Mohammed is saying, I think he wanted to get back at Quad and clean up his image that was horrible when him and Quad split. Hmm. Well, he's not really doing a good job. We're literally seeing him for who he is and who he still is. Now, I was saying, when Sweetie decided to open her mouth and say, I apologize to you, Jackie, I felt bad because even in the apology, Jackie still found a way to make her look like the smallest thing on earth. Did you see what she did you hear what Jackie said to her?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact words, but you know that's common Jackie. You know what I'm saying? She cannot be the bigger person. You know what I'm saying? There always has to be something more. You know, but maybe this is part of her storyline as well. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
What
okay,
pisses
now
me
now
off is
we
that
have a
you were trying
storyline. I'm gonna go with it.
now you were trying to tell her that you will not you might not have close friendships, relationships, and you will not come for her. You know, you're trying to demean her. Meanwhile, I can remember when she had that, stuff about her the mortality rate stuff. and it came out that she was literally betraying what she was saying. She came out and did a video asking, apologizing, and literally saying that people make mistakes, that she made a mistake, and people should forgive her. Now I'm remembering that video and I'm looking at now she's literally demeaning somebody that's apologizing to her and saying that, she just got pissed off, she just got her emotions, this thing. Now she's saying that she cannot forgive her, and they will just be like, good. And I'm like, so why were you asking people to forgive you? Why were you saying, why were you putting in your speech that people make mistake and people learn from the mistake, and when you apologize, people should accept the apology? If you could not forgive somebody else, why should I take a time from my day to forgive you? Because you are asking me to forgive you, but you cannot forgive your fellow member. How would you want to get forgiveness from people? How?
Jackie's just upset that Sweet Tea called her out on her shit and cursed at her, in front of the other ladies and in front of the husband and the crew and everybody who got to watch the show. You know what I'm saying? So her ego was bruised, you know. But I mean, what did you expect when you're talking to a grown woman like that and you're belittling her, and her common sense in front of her husband, and in front of her peers and coworkers? What do you think you're going to get? Her to just go, okay, Jackie, you're right. No, I'm gonna speak up and say, hey, why is it cool, when you guys do it to me, but when I want to know something that you're bringing to me at this point, and I feel like I'm being held captive, your captive audience, you're all on stage with your shit, but I can't say nothing. How is that shit fair?
Mm,
you know, Explain it to me.
yeah.
But Jackie went to shut her down with her big old speech, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because she knew it was coming. And she still didn't answer it. She answered it with a prepared speech.
Yeah.
Jackie doesn't know how to apologize. I think Jackie should be apologizing. She should be looking at all these playbacks from these episodes and look how she was acting. Like, damn, just because you talk to the vice president, does that give you the right to, like, talk crazy to people?
She's not going to be the first person to talk to the vice president, neither will she be the last.
True. But I guess she feels that gives her some type of statue, or status on the show, where it puts her up on a higher pedestal. I don't know. But yeah, this friendship, this group, oh goodness, I could be a part of it. I could.
Hey, and the fact that we had his wife was busy being chewed up there, while Dr. G was literally having fun wherever she is, wherever he was, not even caring. I I feel bad for her. And you notice when she was throwing her apology, none of the ladies seemed to care. Phaedra, that was close to her, didn't want to even impute. And I've noticed something about Phaedra. When they have issues with somebody, even if she's close to that person, she tends to withdraw and not want to interject so that the annoyance will not be transferred to her.
Right.
Phaedra could not even say or plead on her behalf. Toya even said, "Oh, I feel bad for I feel bad for Letitia. I don't know what to say to her right now because Jackie will never forgive her." You guys, you say you're friends with her. Toya told herself that she was close to Sweetie because Sweetie was calmer than Kwan, and she liked that Sweetie was a good wife to Dr. G. But you cannot help her apologize to Jackie or be like, okay, yes, I want to be a good sister to you and help you apologize. Even Dr. Simone.
Right. They I'm telling you, Jackie must be top shit on the show because they're treating her as such. You know what I'm saying? You piss Jackie off, like she has the final say or something.
Wow. That's even more annoying. That's really more annoying. That's really
It's
more annoying. Well, anyway, I can't wait for next week's episode because it seems like Dr. Alicia will call out Toya and literally cuss her out in the next episode. I can't wait for that because, like I said in this episode, I was tired of her every time, of every other person talking about her relationship with her husband. She never complained to you. She never said, I'm being I'm being battered, I'm suffering, I'm in pain, I'm tired of the marriage. She never complained to you. It's just that her and her husband's view and everything about marriage is different from yours, which happens so many times. People have different views when it comes to marriage and what to be done and what not to be done in marriages. What is not good for you might be good for the other person. So I'm happy to be waiting for next week because Toya, her mouth is really bad. Sometimes she just says things because she feels like, yeah, I'm Toya. And it seems like she's beefing already Dr. Alicia. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see what will happen because it seems like Dr. Alicia will say something like really. I'm
Mm.
waiting for next week's episode.
Well, I'm excited to see it as well.
I am. Well, guys, thank you very much. No, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for those on the comment section. Like I see a lot of people commenting. Miss Mermaid, JP. Who else? I can't really see everybody's name, but everybody on the comment section, thank you very much for commenting as we were talking. Thank you for sticking around with us. Don't forget to like on this video, guys. Click on the like button so that YouTube will recommend this video to other people to see. And also don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinion on what we said on the video on the comment section, and click on the subscription button down below to subscribe. We'll see you guys in like, I think like 30 or 40 minutes time. If you want to join us, you can join us for the Real Housewives of Potomac's review and recap, a panel review, an open panel review and recaps on the Real Housewives of Potomac. We'll see you guys same time next week for another review of Married to Medicine. Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.